So I just checked out that duty-free store just because I was curious what the price of the alcohol was. And in some countries, it's actually a pretty decent price. But here in China, at least the whiskeys, they seem to be a bit pricier. That's crazy. There's a flight to Pyongyang. I can't imagine there's that many places on Earth that have flights to North Korea. But if there is any place that would have that, it would make sense that China is one of them. So I am not flying to North Korea. I am flying to Incheon. Well, I'm actually flying to JFK, John F. Kennedy Airport in New York City by way of Incheon, Korea. That's where my transfer flight is. And I'm here in Beijing Capital Airport, Terminal 2. There's people sleeping in the Miffy playground. Yep, so this is pretty much the end of my travels, at least here in Asia. I might take a short trip at the end of the year for my birthday. We'll see how I feel. But yeah, this pretty much wraps up my sabbatical. Returning to the United States, returning back to my apartment. I'm ready, kind of excited. I'm just not someone who's a fan of traveling with luggage. Like, I sort of hate that backpacking mode where like you're in a place for a few days and then you gotta pack up and take your luggage with you and go somewhere else. So I've been doing that for the past couple of weeks, ever since I left Bangkok. Flew to Hong Kong, then took the train to Shenzhen, then took the train to Guangzhou, and then took a flight here to Beijing. So I am tired of that sort of backpacking mode. Definitely ready to go home. Oh, I forgot to mention I am flying Korean Air, which I don't think I've flown before, maybe when I was much younger as a child, but definitely didn't fly Korean Air as an adult, so I'll definitely film that and give you my impressions, and hopefully it's a good flight. So I'm back in Incheon Airport. It is, I think, 4:20 local time because Korea is 1 hour ahead. And that was an extremely short flight. It was literally an hour and 20 minutes in the air from takeoff to landing. And I was surprised that it had a meal because usually for a flight that short, I'm not gonna bother with the meal. But they got the meal out really fast, and it was okay. It was an okay meal, if I'm being honest. That like salad was kind of weird. It was cold, didn't really taste that good. I think it was like couscous, had like a grain. The fruit was also okay. It wasn't super sweet. The bread was, again, just okay. It wasn't like super soft. I like it like soft and pillowy. It wasn't the rice dish. It was beef. Had a good sauce. That was actually pretty good, but it wasn't enough to make up for the fact that overall that meal was just okay. But still, kudos to Korean Air for even having a meal on a flight that short. Literally, it was a flight that's an hour and 20 minutes. I seem to always find myself in Incheon Airport really early in the morning. And in a way, I've come full circle. Because my journey into Asia began here in Incheon Airport. I flew from JFK to Incheon on Incheon Airlines, and then there was a layover. And then I caught the flight to Bangkok. So I guess in a sense it's fitting that I am back here again on the way back to JFK in New York City and the United States. There's the next flight. Fortunately, it is taking off at 10, and right now it is 4:46. So that means I have roughly 5 hours to kill before the flight takes off. I think I'm going to try and find a place to lay down and see if I can get some sleep. Alright, so I think I found a pretty quiet corner here in the terminal. I'm gonna try and see if I can fall asleep on these seats, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna set it for like 4 hours. And if I wake up right around that time, then I would be able to wake up right around boarding time, so let's see how it goes. So it is now 9 o'clock, and I did manage to get a little bit of sleep. I stuffed my jacket into my bag. I use that as my pillow. I just lay down flat on the seats. And surprisingly, I was able to catch like 3 hours of sleep. So it's actually pretty good. I'm gonna check out the very last of this terminal, see if there's like a place where I can get nice coffee. And after that, looks like it's time to board. Officially heading back to the United States of America. Greatest country in the world. I think this entire terminal might be for Korean Air, because all you see are Korean Air jets, and you can see the other end of the terminal all the way out there in the distance. So this terminal looks like it belongs to Korean Air, pretty much only them. Oh, I see a Delta plane in the back. So I'm guessing if you fly like Incheon and you're transferring, you end up in like a different terminal. And I remember when I was transferring to Bangkok, that terminal felt different than this one. This one feels like a newer, slightly cleaner terminal. I got myself a oolong milk tea at Gongcha. It's 4,500 Korean won, which is like $3. And I can see off in the distance in my gate, people are starting to line up. So I think people are starting to board. So I should head there too. I think we're flying an A380 today, but I could be wrong. 吧。谢谢。Landed in New York City, back in America. The way you know you're back in America is that the minute you land, the moving platform doesn't work. So guys, this is JFK's Terminal 1. And as you can see, it is not a very nice airport. Look at everyone just cramped up right here. Look at how small the space is in this terminal. But this is, believe it or not, this is probably like a nicer airport in the United States. And that's sad to say. In terms of how new it looks, in terms of the natural light it lets in, like this is probably one of the nicer airports you'll find in the United States. So I figured I'd do a review of the flight before I head home. It was honestly a really comfortable flight. Like I paid extra for the extra legroom seats, and it was great because there was no one next to me. I didn't get the whole row to myself because someone booked the window seat, but we were really comfortable because we were able to spread out. And the person in the window seat at one point, like she put her legs up on the empty chair, which whatever, I don't mind. But yeah, it was just a really comfortable flight. It would really stretch out, tons of legroom. And I think it just helps that there's no one next to you. So the biggest difference that makes is you get both armrests to yourself. And I think that does make a really big difference. And also you just get to relax a little more knowing that there's not another person right next to you. I think I paid overall let's see, it was either $40 or $70 for that extra room seat. I think that's definitely worth it. If you're taking a flight through Korean Air from Incheon to New York, very long flight, and I think paying for that extra space is worth it. Look for a row like I did that was empty when you book it, and then there's a good chance that either it'll be completely empty or that there will only be one other person in the row by the time your flight hits. The food was good. It wasn't the best I've had on flights in the past couple of months. The main dishes tasted really good. They had good sauces. I think where they falter a bit is their salads are not amazing, and like their desserts and side dishes were just really not that amazing. But their main dishes tasted good. Overall, the food wasn't bad. It was just that I feel like other airlines have better food than they do. In terms of the equipment or the plane itself, it's not a brand new plane. And I say that because it has no Wi-Fi at all. Like, you just can't even like pay for it. Like, it's not even an option of like, oh, I want to pay, $12, $20, whatever it is to get Wi-Fi. No, it's flat out not an option, which means it's probably an old plane. The entertainment system was not super responsive, and it had that old school style remote, which I don't really like. But the selection of movies was really, really good. Like, they had pretty much every movie in the Pirates, the Caribbean franchise, every movie in like the Mission Impossible franchise. Lots of really good movies. I watched first Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, and then I watched Superman, the new Superman. So that was also really fun. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I would recommend flying Korean Air. I was able to get a little bit of rest. I think I might have napped at certain points for like maybe an hour or two. But overall, I just feel really good. I don't feel sleepy. I don't feel tired. Even though that total trip was like 18 hours. And I was literally on the Great Wall of China like about a day ago. So, I mean, I should in theory be really tired and really cranky, but I actually feel pretty good. Like, I feel really refreshed. It's probably the best international flight I've ever taken. And yeah, I don't know if it's because I was able to sleep for a few hours during the layover at Incheon, or if it's because I just had the extra legroom seats or there was no one next to me. But yeah, the flying the 380 is also really comfortable. It was a really smooth ride, like no turbulence whatsoever. So definitely recommend Korean Air. All right, I'm going to head home. I'm going to take the air train, and then if you guys made it this far for this video, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video, and until then, take care of yourself, and if you can, someone else too.